Fans, welcome to SEC Fan Talk Season 2, Episode 3. Got some new faces in tonight. If you've watched before, you've seen or listened before on future podcasts. We've got Nico back in the house tonight. Normally our producer here is just going to join in with us because we're on a new platform and haven't quite figured it out yet. The Bradley and Tito, Mr. Luke Tidwell. Sheesh. That's why you don't do live. Luke Alsop is not going to be able to join tonight, so we're going to miss him, but we're going to have a little bit of fun with some of the guys that we do have in. Yep, there they are.
Hey, there we are.
There's the fellas. There's the fellas. As you can tell by my attire tonight, which of course last week I had on the hat too, but I went ahead and threw on the shirt as well this week because we have picked a team that we're going to kind of focus on, and this week's team is, of course, some Tennessee football. There's not much to talk about with them, not much of a win streak, but my man. Who is labeled today as Rad Remington. He's got some really big news for the SEC. Go ahead, let's hear it.
According to my inside sources, and somebody might ask how inside. Let's just say her last name rhymes with Tabin. Rumor has it 2024. Or 2026, we're doing it in an even year, not an odd year, that the SEC will indeed merge with the AFC of the NFL. What does this mean? You might ask. Well, I'll tell you what this means. Jacksonville will still never win a game in the NFL. So look for Alabama to dominate that side of Florida from now until the end of time.
And Alabama has enough 5-star recruits riding pine. How do you convince someone if you're Nick Saban or when Steve
they're
Sarkisian
paying them
is
now.
there? Well, they're not. It's endorsements. But if you're interested and you have all these teams coming to you saying you can play now. We'll put you out. You can play. You can start as a freshman. And Saban comes along and says, we like you, but there's a couple guys that's, 3 or 4 years older than you, and we know you're a 5-star. We know you've been heavily recruited, but you're going to sit on the bench. You're going to be on the practice squad for at least 2 years. How do you make the decision to go there?
The $1 million check that you're going to be getting when you graduate. That you're going to get a first, good decent chance you're a 5-star. You're probably first or second round when you go in the NFL. Easy.
Yeah.
I mean, look at all those. Look at what's his name? Years and years ago, Kirkpatrick, the corner, right?
Yeah.
He knew he had offers everywhere in the South. He knew that if he went to Alabama. He didn't start right away, but he sure enough got a lot of playing time, first-round draft pick.
That's true. Maybe that's how it is. You're going to come in, you're only going to play a season and some.
Maybe two.
Or if someone gets hurt.
Look at Derrick Henry.
Or you're absolutely beating the crap out of, let's say, Tennessee.
Or the Jacksonville Jaguars in this case.
And then your other people.
Or Jacksonville, yeah, of course.
Then your other people get some time.
Told you if I was coming on, the shenanigans would ensue.
Last week we talked about Oklahoma and Texas coming into the SEC, and of course, with your breaking news this week, it's just
we got everybody.
Which ones are leaving the SEC?
Yeah,
we got the Jets coming in. It's not going to look good for New York.
Yeah, no, the Jets are going back.
Yeah.
So
Tennessee's finally got a chance.
So what does with the two new teams coming in? We did touch on this briefly couple weeks ago, but with the two new teams coming in, who is your vote to get the axe?
I don't think anyone's going to get the axe. I mean, you see the Big Ten, they're scrambling. They're trying to take a piece of the pack, whatever it's called now. It doesn't matter.
The no coast?
Yeah. So, I mean, everyone's scrambling to catch up. I don't think the SEC's done. I think they might be trying to put together they might try to pick whatever they can off the ACC.
Now, I have, we even mentioned it last week about the SEC just self-governing, pulling away. NCAA means nothing.
Absolutely.
It's just their own thing. And I agree that it can happen. It will happen. Maybe should. It's the powerhouse. Hey, all the haters out there that hate SEC as it is now, imagine what is coming.
Oh, yeah.
They're not even ready. Not even ready.
Yeah, the Ohio State fans of the world.
Yeah.
I used to be a Big Ten guy all the way, right? I grew up in the North when I was a little kid, I ended up playing high school ball down in Florida.
Yes, you did.
Was recruited, loosely recruited. I wasn't that good to play in the SEC, but would have preferred walk on at any SEC school that said, "Hey, you want to, over any Big Ten school," just because even back then, early middle 2000s, it was still SEC was the conference, and everybody knows it. All the speed is in the South.
Yeah.
Whether you go into the ACC, the SEC, and then you have your northern schools, and then your no coast trying to pick off all the Florida boys. But
Florida is just growing football players.
Mm-hmm.
That's
why UCF's so good. That's why Josh Heupel got the job at Tennessee. It's because of those Florida boys.
So speaking of Heupel getting the job in Tennessee, predictions.
Great news! We're going to score 50 every week.
I said that
we might give
week.
up 60.
We're putting up
score 50.
We're going to be a high-powered offense. What's defense? What is that?
Yeah. Just let it go.
I didn't know.
Questionable.
I didn't know that they're. I didn't know you had to play both sides of the ball. I thought this was just this one way. So with Heupel, this is of course his first year at Tennessee this year. He went 28-8 in 3 seasons at Central Florida. He was Tennessee was 3-7 last year. So we'll see what happens. The Vols were looked like they do every year. Preseason before college football over the past couple of years, it's always, Tennessee's going to make a run this year. Tennessee's going to make so this year they're probably not saying that, and that may be good. They went on a downward spiral going on this year. They do have a couple returning starters, 5 of those being on offense, 7 on defense. Of course, they lose Henry Toto to Alabama. If
say that again.
The Henry Toto, which was an amazing linebacker for Tennessee, and transfers to Alabama, where it's kind of that he's had to go through twice now the hype. You're the star high school player where you go to high school, and then you go to a university, and you're just another guy competing for a job. So he's already gone through that once. Now he's going to have to go through it again with Alabama, and they're going to be like, "Who are you?"
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah, welcome to the practice squad.
Yeah.
Josh Palmer is coming back again for his 7th year. Somehow we like BYU. We've got 30-year-olds.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. He's not coming back. He did go round 3 to the Chargers. Trey Smith, which we're really going to miss. I thought that he would hang around because he had another year of eligibility with the COVID thing, but he did go in the 6th round to the Chiefs. Wanye Morris transferred to Oklahoma. Peace out, Morris. You attitude problem.
Wait a minute. The singer from Boyz II Men.
he just way too many penalties on him. No good. I am going to miss running back Eric Gray. He transferred also to Oklahoma. That was a hard loss. Garantano, of course, adios. I think he went to JUCO somewhere. JT Strout to Colorado. Ty Chandler over to UNC, which if you're Ty Chandler, why in the world do you transfer to an ACC?
Is it close to home?
Maybe.
That's the only reason.
Maybe they were like, hey, we're going to give you the deal of a century. You're going to get to live at your mom's.
Yep.
And you can play football for us.
And the local Ford dealership has already decided to sign you up to some licensing agreement where here's your new Ford Focus.
Here is your Festiva.
Yeah. Yeah. Got one of those Broncos for you, buddy.
Bryce Thompson is gone. The center, Brandon Kennedy, and Brent Samaglia transferred to Georgia Tech, which, that's about the same level degree of skill as Tennessee. So, did get some returns of Cade Mays, which that's yet to be determined, which that's a top return. Audrey Solomon, Harrison Bailey, which is still in the top 3 running for quarterback. Brian Maurer, who is not. Velais Jones, who I'm expected to see huge numbers from this year. I mean, just absolute huge. Defensive back Alante Taylor. Paxton Brooks coming back to kick a few for us again this year. Matthew Butler, Jalen Hyatt, and Theo Jackson. Nico, do you want to hit the newcomers coming in?
Yeah, we've got a couple newcomers coming in. I'm terrible at names, so I'm gonna skip over the first one.
You either grow up in Antioch or in New York, and you got it.
You got Joe Milton. He's good. He's good for a couple picks.
Yeah, and then quarterback Hendren Hooker from transferring from Virginia Tech.
Oh, Hooker's right up there. He's one of the 3 that's running.
Got another quarterback coming in from Michigan.
Yeah, Milton.
Joe Milton.
Yeah, he's the one that's good for a couple picks.
Yeah, he came with a lot of being an ex Michigan fan. He came in with a lot of hype. Did not deliver. He kind of choked pretty serious.
No, I know, and I mean, but you take him from the stage of Michigan, where your only true component is Michigan State and Ohio State, and now you're going to stick him in the SEC like he's going to do any better.
Yeah,
but at least it's going to be a consistent competitiveness.
See, I don't want the carousel of quarterbacks like we've had the past 2 years. I don't.
Yeah, I think Heupel's going to lock it up though.
I hope he does. I mean, unless someone gets hurt, we don't need to be. Well, I'm sorry. You've too many 3 and outs. Sit down.
Yeah, someone's going to have to step up and make the big plays. Well,
yeah, I mean, like I said, UT's going to score like between 40 and 70 points a game. So that whatever quarterback wins the job is going to absolutely light it up. Unfortunately, the defense is going to have to be on the field a lot. So I hope they can run with it.
We did pick up Jawan Mitchell from Texas, leading tackler for the Longhorns 2020. So we'll see how that goes. The out of conference schedule will definitely get them near the 6 wins. So a couple things they got to do. Punt and punt return should be great. Paxton Brooks is a great punter. Velais Jones is a great returner.
Yeah.
They've got some good name quarterbacks in there now. Some, Harrison Bailey's young, but he's starting to prove himself. And then, of course, Hendon Hooker is fantastic. Cade will get his brother Cooper, who both just come up out of high school from Knoxville, and we'll see how they play together. They only signed 17 players in the last recruiting class, so they've got to work with what they've got and bring up some new guys quick.
Yeah, and the linebacker situation with losing 2 linebackers is crucially someone's got to have to step up there.
Oh,
crucial.
But Pruitt recruited. I mean, the Pruitt recruited always pretty good. So I think there's a lot in the cupboard for Heupel to play with. I see why the defensive guys left. He's a defensive minded coach. They want to go knock some heads, and they think Heupel's just going to run up. It's going to be a 45-40 game every Saturday. But
it's a good chance for you to step up and prove yourself.
Right, absolutely.
To say,
I think it's exciting. I think it's an exciting time for Knoxville. I mean, I was hoping a while back that they were going to get old. What's his name from Mississippi State? I thought they were going to get Leach. That would have been absolutely hilarious just for the post game press conference itself. But but he's going to run and gun it. You're going to score 60. You might give up 72. But,
air raid. Wish I had the siren.
But no, this is going to be something similar to that.
Felipe
Obviously.
Franks fits right in his, just put it up.
Yep.
So I don't know if you've looked at the schedule there, Remington, but we start off in 2 weeks at Thursday, September 2nd versus Bowling Green.
Hey now, go get those Hilltoppers.
No, not Western Kentucky.
Oh, at Bowling Green. I think you meant in Bowling Green, Kentucky. No, I have not looked at the schedule.
No. It's home game where Bowling Green comes. So we'll be competing. I said this last week. We'll be competing with the local high school football game for airtime.
Yep. Yes.
Where at Bowling Green?
Yeah. No, in Knoxville.
Oh.
The welcome to the Channel 14 game of the week. We're watching the undefeated Overton Bobcats take on the Antioch Bears. We'll bring you highlights from the Tennessee ball game.
Bowling Green might have the ugliest color scheme in college football. That brown and orange. It's not like the Cleveland Browns. It doesn't. Nothing works there.
I mean, whoever set this up was an ingenious forecaster because they're going to let Josh Heupel and his team come out against a team that went 0-5 last year and did not play their final game. They probably did the COVID card. Oh, we can't play. And then it starts off pretty nice versus Pitt.
That's going to be interesting.
That should be a good game.
Yeah,
and then Tennessee Tech, and then Tennessee will start their losing streak because the third Saturday is always Florida.
Yeah.
And then they're going to go to Missouri. Missouri's going to be
a winnable game. That's a winnable game.
It is a winnable game, but Missouri has stepped their game up too. So I think it'll be a good game. Tennessee coming off of their loss from Florida. They may be fired up as long as no one got beat up too bad because that's always a brutal, brutal game for injuries. Tennessee will then they'll host South Carolina, which they have no hope. I mean, South Carolina has no hope whatsoever. They've lost the state. They can't recruit.
Yeah,
they're done. And of course, Muschamp is now over at Georgia, which just happened yesterday.
Did he really?
Yeah, special teams. Way to go from head coach at South Carolina to the special teams coach at Georgia. So he'll have 1 year, and it may be a really smart strategic play to go after Kirby Smart's job when Kirby Smart gets fired for not winning the East this year. That's then Ole Miss, then at Alabama, which we know is a loss, at Kentucky, which we'll see, and then Georgia, we don't know, and then they'll play their last two games versus South Alabama.
We got that one, and Vanderbilt,
and then Vanderbilt, which is definitely going to be a win.
Last year, maybe not, just because of the defense and the offense kind of just blowing chunks.
They got them last year.
I know what I'm just saying. This year,
they blew
we're going to score 50
of
points. We're scoring 50 points against Vanderbilt. I will put my paycheck on that. We're scoring 50 points on Vandy, unless everyone has COVID and they don't let them play.
Yeah, that's.
I hope that they let them play this year.
They got to. We need this.
They've got to let them play.
Yeah.
I have not bought any tickets yet, but I am predicting myself to be sitting on the Tennessee Terrace for at least 2 games, where I can just and those I like to get when it's cold because I hate going to cold games and sitting in Neyland. But at the Tennessee Terrace, you could just pop into the heated area behind you, get your own Petros, and eat it in there, and come back out nice and warm, full of chili.
That October 16th game is going to be the game right there. Old Lane comes rolling into town.
The Lane train does come rolling into town. Well, he will be booed horribly.
Yeah.
The pregame beverage festivities in Knoxville will be epic that Saturday.
I will say, when it comes to a PR, I mean, Ole Miss saved some money because they got to take their PR person and fire him. They're like, we're bringing in Lane Kiffin. We can afford to pay him this extra because we're going to have to fire you.
Absolutely. That would be the game that I'd want to go and purchase tickets on. Just because I'd want to see the fan madness.
Oh, absolute madness. Absolute madness. And there was a time that I pulled for the Rebels, and that was when Eli Manning was there. Mm-hmm. And specifically just for him. I don't think I knew anyone else on the team.
What about the guy from The Blind Side? What was it? Mike Orr. Yeah.
Michael Brown.
Michael Orr. Like a paddle in a boat.
Yep.
Yes.
Good old Sandra Bullock in that picture. It's a good one.
Played it well.
Yep.
Played it well. She looked absolutely nothing like. She gave the real Miss Toohey tons of credit. Undeserved.
Yeah.
Undeserved.
All right, so let's predict. What are we predicting? Or is that for the end of the show? I don't want to.
That's 7 and 8. It's 7 and 5.
We're 7 and 5. All right.
For Tennessee, and then 2 and 10 for Vandy.
7 and 5. All right. Let me give you the Rad Remington.
Yeah, there you go.
Lucky, the Stone Cold Lock of the Century of the week. We're gonna do. Let's see here. We are going to say. You said 7 and 5. I think we can bet. I think we can better that.
You think?
I think we can better that. I think Tennessee Volunteers.
You know what the over 6 odds are, right?
I'm saying 8 wins. I'm saying they get 8 wins. I'm saying Josh Heupel outscores everyone 8 teams until they get bored and leave.
Which game? Which game? You think?
Let's see.
Missouri?
Bowling Green, W. Pitt, W.
Yeah.
Tennessee Tech, W.
Easy.
Florida, loss.
Yeah.
Missouri, W.
Oh.
Agree.
South Carolina, W.
Agree.
Okay.
So wait a minute. So
we're
now
at 6.
We're sitting 6 and 1 right now.
6 and 1. All right. Now somewhere in there we're gonna lose. Right. We got Ole Miss. So right now I'm still taking South Alabama and Vanderbilt. There's my 8 wins.
Yeah. Got
I think we
can
can win. I think there's a possibility here.
Yeah.
We can get 9.
Don't say it. Don't.
But I'm going to sit. I'm going to sit
it.
conservatively back and say 8 wins.
Okay.
I'm going to say 8 wins. I'm going to say Kentucky. I think we can get Kentucky.
I think we can get Kentucky.
But I'll be conservative here, and I will say 8 wins. And we're going to go to the Champ Sports Unitarian Bowl for blind kids, or whatever it's called.
We're going to the Biloxi, Mississippi Ford F-150 without microchips bowl.
First of all, yeah, if I was the AD over there, I'd be like, we going to Hawaii? Yeah, we ain't going then. I want to go to Hawaii or someplace tropical because other than that, what's the point?
Yeah. The middle of bowl season, we know what the weather is everywhere. Yeah. We're tired of just going to the Florida. Let's go to Hawaii.
Yeah. Exactly.
That would be nice.
Or let's visit the West Coast. Let's say hello and San
as it's not
Diego.
Arizona.
Let's go to the what is the bowl in San Diego? That's very
Rose?
popular. No, that's in Pasadena. What is the other bowl? Holiday Bowl. Holiday Bowl.
Yeah, Tennessee and a Rose Bowl. Them days are gone.
We're going to the Holiday Bowl. Maybe they're back though. Maybe we get some guy coming. Like what's Mike Singletary doing these days? Let's get him in here as a defensive consultant, right? We're gonna get the offense. Don't worry about the offense. We got the offense. We're gonna score 100.
We're gonna give up 125 unless we figure out what that D word is.
We just got to limit it to like 30 points. 30 points will win 9 games. We get them to hold every team to 30 points.
They are not winning.
We hold every team to 30 points. Josh Heupel will run up the score.
There's a possibility that we score. I mean, win 8.
Come mid-season, and we're sitting above 500. I will be excited, but
I think you're gonna be excited, man. I think you're gonna be excited.
I think this season's a little bit better.
Old Rad Remington doesn't throw out guarantees, and I'm guaranteeing we're getting 6. All right, I'm hovering between 6 and 8, but we're getting 6.
So you put them as possible contenders for the East.
Well, Georgia and Florida. I mean, they're not going to.
If you're talking 8 or 9 wins, though.
I'm talking. Yeah, I see it as Georgia, Florida, Tennessee.
I mean, we're
so which means Georgia's going to have to win out, right? And Florida's going to have to. When do they play each other?
When is that backyard? What week is that?
Which one?
Largest cocktail party.
In Jacksonville, where they will both have better teams than the pro team currently in the city. Oh, it's okay. Don't worry. Urban's going to turn it around over there. They got Tebow now.
They got
Tebow. It's over.
Did you see his first preseason block as a tight end?
I did not, but I did hear that
it's all over.
He ate an F-150 for breakfast that morning.
Yeah. Okay, so you remember the scene. We're going to go back to Blindside because you brought it up earlier. But remember when the kid gets hurt and they bring in the little wimpy kid and he just goes up and runs into the dude and falls down when he runs into him?
Is that Tim Tebow?
That was Tebow. Tebow hit and just fell over.
I was pulling for old Timmy to make the team.
I'm going to watch.
Why would you give up an ESPN contract to go back and play?
Okay. I don't think you realize how much money Tim Tebow already has.
I don't care.
He's like, you know what? I want to play because he wants to keep playing sports. He's like a giant child who's like, you know what? I'm going to play sports for a living. You know what? After this, he might be a race car driver. Who knows? But
I saw a video the other day where they named Tim Tebow as the coach's son, and they just wanted to put him in because he was a coach's son.
Yeah, I mean, basically, he is.
Basically.
But I mean,
very strong.
Right, he is the size of a bull. He is a giant human.
Yeah, he is big guy. And
so
athletic.
I mean, he's athletic. He can run. I just don't know if he is short for a tight end. He's 6'3", right? And those tight ends are running 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", right? But he's 225, 235, something like that. I mean, that's tough to be banging.
He put some weight on.
So, if we're talking about the East, and we're talking about these wins, 9 wins potentially, okay? So, Florida right now is predicted to win 9. I mean, they play their 3rd week against Alabama, so they're already coming into Tennessee September 25th after a loss to Alabama, and hopefully Tennessee can hand them their next one.
See, I don't see Florida.
And then 3 weeks later, they play LSU, and then they skip a date, and then they go play Georgia in Jacksonville.
Yeah,
that's a rough one.
I see what you're saying.
That's a rough one. Georgia starts off their year college football kickoff, Chick-fil-A kickoff, whatever it is, against Clemson.
Oh.
I mean, they're starting off against Clemson, so hand them their loss. They go redeem themselves with UAB, hit a little South Carolina. I mean, after it's like they were like, okay, you're playing Clemson, then we're going to give you 3 really easy weeks after that: UAB, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt. How's that? And then they'll start. Conference play because Carolina and Vanderbilt are not conference worthy. Face off at Arkansas, Auburn, Kentucky. So Georgia's got it pretty easy afterwards. They don't have to play Alabama. Their West team is what? Auburn. Their West team is Auburn and Arkansas this year. So yeah, I see why they're saying Georgia could go 11-1. They've got a really easy schedule.
Yeah, apart from that first loss, if they could get over that first loss.
Who's a quarterback over there now in
I don't know if they've named
Clemson.
Oh,
have they named their starter yet?
I don't know.
Let's not count out those Bulldogs.
I think the Bulldogs will take the reign, but second place with your prediction, with Remington's steel prediction.
Stone cold lock of the century of the week.
Stone cold lock of the century of the week. It could be a second place tie for second place.
Now, see, I think there's a lot to be happy about in Knoxville because I see Heupel coming in and let's see this next season about what type of recruits he gets. Pruitt could recruit. He was always getting top 10 classes. But you know who's not getting top 10 classes? Those folks over in Gainesville. What was their last top 5 class?
Well, they don't recruit from high school. It's they recruit from the inmate facilities of Central Florida.
But I mean, think about it. But Mullen's never been the big time recruiter, right? He coaches them up, and that's his thing, which is awesome. But if you're not getting these, Alabama can't have there's like 60 5-stars or something. Alabama can't have all. They don't have enough space, right? So we got to get a few of these, and if Heupel can get a few of them locked in,
Heupel get a few of them.
I think Tennessee can surpass, and then Georgia's always going to be in the play. Right, but I think we might see Florida start to be on a downward.
And Florida can only go recruit from the CFPS, the Central Florida Penal System, just another year or two. Well, we are approaching that 33 minutes right now, where we're trying to really keep everything down. 34, 35 minutes. Helps keep the listens up on the podcast stations. And so, Rad Remington, Nico, it's been a pleasure this evening. We're definitely going to have you back on next week when we have the full crowd, because it'll be nice to have all 6 of us in here with some topics.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
Especially when we're busting in news about the SEC joining the NFL.
Hey, I'll keep my ear to the ground with my inside sources.
And seeing if Jacksonville's going to join the SEC or not.
I think Jacksonville will probably go to the Big Sky
switch.
Big Sky Conference for them.
The Jacksonville's going to pull a Notre Dame and go independent.
Yeah. Just kindly asked if they could play the MAC.
All teams, yeah.
We'll play in the MAC this year.
Is there any room for Jacksonville in the Mountain West?
There could be.
I mean, is there any Jaguars in Florida, or is the Mountain West better for a Jaguar?
That's a good question.
See,
I lived in Florida for several years. I never saw a Jaguar.
See,
I did see a lot of gators.
See? Yeah.
Saw tornadoes.
Saw
anacondas.
I did see python, big snakes, and armadillos. They would constantly get run over. But I never saw a jaguar.
See? Yeah, neither has Jacksonville.
Except for the one they got from the zoo.
Yeah.
That they had once as a mascot and ate a child, and so they had to give it back.
We're so sorry that you I just want to thank you for tuning in today. Hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, whatever. It's all the same, at SEC Fan Talk. We thank you very much. Hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and we are closing in just 2 weeks until college football kickoff begins. It's going to be very exciting, and we won't get to just monkey around like we do now. We'll actually have some real things to talk about.